Welcome, aspirants. Today, we are going to crack the code on what is probably your most important daily tool, the newspaper. We're going to transform it from something that feels overwhelming into your absolute strategic weapon for this exam. So, this is what you see every morning, right? A huge mountain of information. It can feel, well, pretty overwhelming, like you're facing an impossible task before your day has even really started. But I'm going to show you exactly how to conquer it. You know, the goal isn't just about reading faster, it's about reading smarter. So the real question is, how do you take this daily mountain and turn it into a high-yield asset for the exam, and do all of that in just 60 minutes? Okay, here's our game plan. First, we'll tackle that feeling of overwhelm. Then I'll give you a solid framework for reading. We'll talk about how to separate signal from noise, master the art of making notes, and finally, the most important part, connect everything back to the syllabus. So, let's start by just diagnosing the problem, okay? Most aspirants, they fall into one of two traps. Either they're spending 3, maybe even 4 hours buried in the paper, or they're skimming so fast they miss all the crucial points. Honestly, both of those approaches are dead ends. This right here requires a fundamental shift in your mindset. You are not a casual reader, not anymore. You are an analyst, you're an information hunter, and you're on a mission to extract exam-relevant intelligence. That's it. To bring some order to this chaos, we absolutely need a framework. So I'm going to give you a really simple but incredibly powerful 4-step method that you can apply every single day to make your reading targeted and, most importantly, efficient. This 4-step process, this is your new routine. First, a quick 10-minute skim of all the headlines, just to get the lay of the land. Second, you mark the articles that you know connect to the syllabus. Third, you do a deep analytical read of only those marked articles. And fourth, you immediately synthesize what you understood into your notes. And that brings us to the absolute core of the strategy. You know, the single most important skill that you're going to develop is separating the valuable signal from all the distracting noise that fills up most of the newspaper. So for every page you turn, it really comes down to a simple choice. What deserves your focus, and what can you safely just skip without feeling any guilt? This slide is just the perfect example. On the left, you've got high-yield content, like editorials. That's your signal. And on the right, you've got the low-yield stuff, like tenders and notices. That's pure noise. The editorial page is a gold mine. Seriously, it's not just about getting information. It's where you learn how to analyze an issue, how to build an argument, and form a balanced opinion. This is direct practice for your GS papers and the essay. In the same way, the economy and business sections are totally non-negotiable. The articles in here, they're often filled with important data, charts on inflation or discussions on fiscal policy, and they directly feed into your preparation for General Studies Paper 3. On the other hand, pages like this one are pure noise for a UPSC aspirant. Learning to just flip right past the city news, the sports section, and public notices will save you so many precious minutes every single day. So, you found the signal. Great. But reading is only half the battle. If you can't recall it when you need it, you can't use it. And that's why we need to master the art of converting all that knowledge into powerful revision notes. You know, effective note-making is all about transforming chaos into clarity. Don't just copy and paste, synthesize. You want to structure your notes by the syllabus topic, not by the date. And here's a little pro tip for you. Try the 3-column method. Column 1, the key fact. Column 2, the core concept. And column 3, the specific syllabus link. This forces you to make that active connection. Always remember this. The act of making the notes is the act of learning. Rephrasing, structuring, connecting ideas in your own words, that's how you really internalize information for the long term. And this is where it all comes together. Why do we do this every single day? Because this entire process maps directly to the blueprint of the exam, the syllabus. Mastering this skill is really what separates a top-tier candidate from everybody else. With every single article you read, you have to be constantly asking yourself, which part of my syllabus does this connect to? Think about it. An article on foreign policy, that links directly to GS Paper 2. A report on climate change, that hits prelims in GS 3. A new welfare scheme, that connects to social justice in GS Paper 1. Your mind has to become a machine for making these connections. So, remember this. You're not just reading the news. You are collecting raw material. These are the facts, the arguments, and the examples that are going to become the building blocks of your answers in the mains exam. To wrap this all up, I want to leave you with a concrete action. Don't just absorb all this information, you have to apply it. So think right now, what is the one change you are going to implement tomorrow morning to make your reading more effective? Trust me, that one change could make all the difference.